Oh shit.
That shit. You know what's crazy is that I fuck with Pink Panthers.
Pink Panthers?
I fucked with her for a little minute.
I heard the one like TikTok song, but I didn't know who she was or nothing.
So I've heard her on that. She was actually on one of Baby Keem's songs on his deluxe album.
On the deluxe, yeah.
She did a track with Willow Smith I fuck with. So I've heard her a few times. I love her like sound. But God, I can't listen to this song.
You can't listen to it?
No, bro.
This shit is a smash though. I ain't even gonna lie. This gonna like.
I think
this gonna last to the summer and all that.
But I feel like it's a smash.
Opinion.
Agreed. I feel like it's a smash because of Pink Panthers though.
Obviously,
it's that sound. So that's what I'm saying. So that's
but it's
why
also a good dynamic because it's like they're two opposites, but
I agree.
They're rocking with each other.
I do.
The video's kind of cool.
I feel like I've seen parts.
It's simple, but like it's cool. Like they're on the actually Canal Street fucking train station, and they're getting filmed from the other side.
Yeah, I seen that.
And they're like chilling, dancing and shit, and rapping and singing.
Yeah, nah, I don't know, like it's.
But it went kind of even more viral for that whole da 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 shit.
Oh yeah.
Grabbing my da 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 da. Like everybody.
You know what she's saying?
Yeah, she said grabbing my da da da. Yeah. I only figured it out because like
you actually listen to the lyrics?
a million times of hearing it and be like, yo, what is she saying though?
Okay. Because that's the shit. Like people been clowning her for that.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, we just gonna ride this whole thing. I feel like you don't want to turn it off. Welcome back to No Politics Podcast.
You already know your weekly dose.
Yes, sir. If it's worth talking about, we talking about it.
Yes,
and
sir.
It's our first time
back together in a minute. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Back at the headquarters, as I like to call it.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
We finally got it together. Hit y'all back-to-back weeks of episodes.
Word. You know what I'm saying?
It's
baby steps, little baby steps. You know what I'm saying? But it's all about creating and all that. You know what I'm saying? So like once we do link up, we in our bag. You know what I'm saying? Snow's happy we back together.
Snow's happy.
Snow just cheered.
Pull up.
Yo, Snow's our special guest. What up?
Now you want to be shy?
Nah, he's shy, damn.
He'll come up eventually.
But yeah, man. So it is what it is. We in our zone.
Yes, sir.
We here to talk, chop it up, do what we do.
A lot to talk about.
Hopefully entertain the people.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
But so we linked up last night. And there was one thing we definitely wanted to make time for, and it was the Chris Rock special, the new stand-up special you got. Because, I was seeing bits and pieces of it. I feel like we both were. I told you he hop up.
Snow saw the
mic,
Chris Rock special too. What you thought about that? Snow.
He's like, I'm staying out of this.
He's like, no. That's on y'all. All right, fuck it.
Y'all want to speak bad on Will Smith? Not me. I learned. Yeah. Smarter than y'all. But, so... Yeah, we wanted to watch the Chris Rock special because
we both didn't see it. So
we both didn't see it, but we all seen that little one clip where he was addressing the Will Smith shit a little bit. Facts. So we were like, all right, we definitely, I wanted to make time leading up to this to see it, and we hadn't.
Yeah.
So we were like, all right, well,
now, but
together.
honestly, not to cut you off, but now seeing it makes me want to talk about way more shit than just the Will Smith shit. Like, yeah. Automatically, I'm thinking about how fucking funny that shit was. Yeah, like when he's talking about dating older woman, he's like, this bitch asked me to fix her roof.
Yeah. That's the difference between dating older women and younger women. They just want
a pair of shoes. Yeah. Yo, that shit was so funny. Like there was so many classic moments where it was like, yo, this is great. Like I even referred to Dave Chappelle and how they've been on tour together, and it's like, yo, it's critical for that because I love how he's kind of like highlighting what's going on in society now and like real life things. He's highlighting them, he's touching on them, but then making it relatable to where he comes from, where he's at, the person he is now. You know what I'm saying? Like it was dope. I fucked with this stand up special like heavy. Like that shit was so funny.
Yeah, he had a dope segment, a dope part of it about his daughter.
Yep.
And her getting kicked out of school. And how he handled that as a father.
Facts.
That was dope. I don't want to like give away like punchlines in case
people didn't see.
I don't want to butcher the punchline.
Yeah, so
and then
I think it's only right to be like spoiler alert. Like maybe if we're gonna say something, like you fast forward like 10 seconds, maybe we're not gonna be mad. But there was certain things like. Now that you bring up his daughter, like her getting kicked out of school, but then like he talked about her being a baby and like. You don't just teach baby things. Sometimes babies are born with their own personality a certain way. Like his kid fucking bit people. You think other kids, and you think him and his wife fucking taught how to bite people and shit. Like so that shit was hilarious.
So basically, it was the argument, the idea that like people are taught to be racist or sexist. You're taught to hate. Yeah. And that no child is ever born just being a hateful person. And so he was kind of challenging that notion by like, I don't know, because kids say some of the meanest, most outlandish, straight up shit to your face all the time. And it's true. And so the example he gave was his daughter biting people. And like, that's not taught. Like some kids just are a certain way, like they just have a certain disposition. They come out and... whatever their genetics say, they got a certain personality. You know what I'm saying? So
and then
that was
spoiler
a great segment.
alert.
And then
he tied it back together as an adult and said that she bit her grandmother type shit as an adult type shit. Like
awesome,
so just make
just
the point
tie
like
up the joke.
That she's just that way. She bites.
Just to tie up.
That shit was mad funny too.
But there was some great moments in it. It really. Like, I don't know, like a legendary comedian, like, there's nothing like them finally coming out and, because one thing I do love about the like, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, is, like, they'll go away. They're not trying to be on social media all crazy. They go away. So you don't hear what their thoughts are and their social commentary of current events as often.
I get what you're saying.
So you got to kind of wait for it, and it's worth it every time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To hear, like, all right, what does this brilliant mind think about the state of things, the state of the world right now? Like... I'd be anticipating hearing someone like Dave Chappelle speak on current events. Because
for sure.
Because comedians, like, yes, they're funny, but I always say being funny comes with intelligence. Comes with looking at shit from multiple perspectives and, having wisdom and shit and putting funny spins on it or challenging things in funny ways and creative ways. Yeah. So, like, I'm always super interested to hear from the greats and
like one thing we did say too, like to each other watching it, was like, yo, that's what comedians are. And I think we've touched on it when we spoke about Dave Chappelle's last special about a year ago or something, where pretty much comedians touch.
Just a picture of Snow knocked out after he was just here 4 seconds ago. He's knocked out on the floor. I'll try to stitch it into the
right. That is gonna be great. He's just chilling.
No, he knocked out.
He's like, you know what? That was enough. I got my shit off my 5 seconds of fame. It's nap time. But what I was saying was comedians, that's what they do. They touch on social things and what's going on now in America or just globally even. Some, you know what I'm saying? Like, who knows how far the reach is, who relates to what. Mm-hmm. But he did talk about that shit with Ukraine and America, and America was
like America's worse off
because we divided and shit.
Because we divided, whereas Ukraine is
united
together,
with
united.
Each other, yeah.
And he's like, if the Russians came over here right now, half of us would be like, let's hear them out. Like, but it's facts. Like, you got to be honest. Like, there's definitely that.
That's the state of what's going on socially in the world, you know what I'm saying? Like the times and shit. So that's great that they're the type of comedians that do that, and that's why they're considered GOATs.
I was gonna say facts. Funny enough, speaking about the state of the thing, we was watching. We're not gonna really jump into it really, but we was watching a China documentary the wrestler China, Hall of Fame wrestler China.
From D-Generation X.
Yes,
yeah, R.I.P. her.
We were watching that, and there was the clips of DX in the streets with the people, and we was talking about how look
people
at how
were just like, yo,
suck it. yeah, but they helped the old lady cross the street on some funny shit, and it's just the state of the world.
And it wasn't on Instagram, it wasn't on TikTok, but they had a camcorder. Thank God they actually did document a lot of their journey and shit. But when they put that shit on it on the show, we was like, man, I was like, damn, that's peak America.
That's peak America.
And we were just like, yo, for real.
But it felt that way. And maybe not, it depends on the age of our viewers or listeners, maybe, right?
Thanks.
But for us, if I think of our demographic as our age,
Just seeing that 20s, grainy ass video camera
30s.
footage, I'm like, I could put myself there in 1997, 1998. No fucking social media, no internet, no nothing. Just that vibe of being outside and fucking. I can't imagine.
And you not doing it for the people on the internet. You doing it for the people out there in real time.
And people were actually outside and fucking aware of what the fuck was going on.
Aware of everything around them. Exactly. Not on their phones. Which, look, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with being on your phones, but it's just it's a different feel. It's a different vibe, and seeing that brought us all back to that's peak America.
That was peak America.
And it's funny because those was some good times. Those felt like simpler times, but a loving time where the people was vibing with each other.
Facts.
You could go outside and be social,
and it's our childhood
not looked at as
too.
a weirdo.
So it's like a nostalgia feel when you see it. It's because we can't go back in time. We only go forward. Shit just,
Shit just continues to evolve. But that brings me to another point that Chris Rock actually mentioned when he was breaking down the 4 ways to get the 4 ways
attention.
To be no. Was it the 4 ways? The 4 best ways. He was saying that the thing that was it the thing everybody's hooked on, or the thing that's most valued now.
I think it's
is attention.
The biggest addiction is attention.
It was addiction, or the thing that's most valued in today's society was attention. And then he went down the 4 best ways to get attention, and the first one was showing your ass, so OnlyFans, shit like that, or just being on social media.
I don't remember all 4.
Showing ass. Number 2 was being infamous.
Infamous for doing something.
Doing something. 3 was being excellent. Being excellent at something. Serena Williams. Exactly. And then number 4 was
being a victim.
Being a victim. That's
the only one I remember.
That was the perfect one. I was relying on you for that one. I gave it.
See, that's how we do. That's how we bounce off each other.
I was sitting here I gave you the first 3, dog. The least you could do is hit me with the 4.
One.
Yeah. So being a victim, and damn, what did he use as a comparison? It was a great comparison.
The new saying of words hurt.
Oh, he was talking about words hurt.
And it's watch what you say. You might offend somebody. Everyone's a victim. The easiest way to grab somebody's job that you want is to be a victim. Wait for them to say something stupid. What I'm saying?
But he gave a great example of people in the hospital, people in the emergency room. Do you remember?
Maybe.
Where he was comparing, he was everyone wants to be in the emergency room or something, but not everyone's really.
But they go for the most bullshit shit.
Oh, is where we have a society that's basically an emergency room full of people with paper cuts. That's what it is. And I just thought that was genius. That was some shit, because it's facts. People, everyone likes to play the victim over the most minuscule shit, and and you're not true victims. Too,
because besides that, back in the days, if any older people they're not really hospital people. You know what I'm saying? The more traditional, classic.
They hate hospitals.
Older people hate hospitals. Yeah. And it's commentary on the evolution of society of now we got hospitals full of people with paper cuts. When back then we wasn't even going to the hospital.
Mm-hmm. Not that should be celebrated. Like if you got something wrong with you, sometimes ignoring an issue is a big.
If you have to go,
but
you
if
have
you
to go.
have an actual issue, that's the thing. Not if you have a paper cut. That's the difference. But I just thought that was great social commentary on that. He spoke about women's rights and abortion and how he is pro-choice. That probably was the best segment.
Oh my God, yeah.
That shit just had us rolling.
Bro, he said, I stand with y'all.
He was like, because he made the point that, like, he's definitely paid for a ton of abortions, he said, basically, essentially. And,
verbatim.
Yeah, and so eventually he was like, so I'm he was like, a part of me is pro-life because I have daughters, but like I'm pro their lives, you know what I mean? But I would hate to live in a world where my daughters couldn't have full control of their bodies, so I'm pro-choice. And then he said, he kept kind of exaggerating it to the point, up until the point where he was like, I definitely feel like women should be able to kill babies. Like, he was like, up until they're like 4, up until like the first report card, you should be able to see, be like, like, they ain't gonna be shit and abort and, shit was just joke.
We're going to the doctor. He said, we're going to the clinic. He said.
Finish it. What was it? Finish. I feel like he said, like, finish your apple juice. I could be making that up.
He said, finish your something, a show, and your apple juice, though.
Okay,
or some shit, or your applesauce.
Because we going to the clinic.
Finish your last episode of this.
Stranger Things. Then we going to the clinic.
Finish the last episode of Stranger Things and your apple juice. Then we going to the clinic.
Yeah.
Yo, that
so
was
anyway,
so
after exaggerating on some shit, like, I definitely think women should be able to kill babies. He was like, I'm on your side. Like, on some funny shit, like, basically threw it all on women, like, women like to kill babies. Shit was just,
man, that was hilarious. Bro. Like, just towards the end, like, he's like he got the crowd behind him, like, yeah.
It was a great crowd. It was in Baltimore.
He's like, so I definitely agree that women should be able to kill babies.
Yeah.
I stand with y'all.
I'm on your side.
I'm on your side.
I just made it like they're the asshole. But that was great. Funny. But yeah, so now let's get to the meat and potatoes of it. I guess the thing that a lot of people wanted to tune in for. And I said he was strategic because he didn't he made subtle references to it along the way till he got there at the end.
Like saying, I don't want to get another rapper upset at me.
Yeah, like subtle little references.
With the victim shit, he was like, if words hurt, y'all, these are motherfuckers that never been punched
in
or
the face
smacked.
Before. Like, yeah, exactly. And 100%, that's facts. That's another just outside of the context of the Will Smith shit, that's another bar.
Yep.
But so he made the subtle references to it, but he didn't make it all about it. I love that he still did a full stand-up that wasn't just focused on that.
Yep, about an hour plus of just...
Yeah, an hour and I feel like an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 7
minutes
or
maybe,
some shit,
like around there.
So when he finally got there, now we can talk about this. One thing before he got there, the one thing we initially noticed was that it resembled the Apollo. We thought that's where it was.
It was like an old school,
Yeah, and then we learned that it was Baltimore.
Yeah, because he shouted them out.
And then you said...
I said, damn, yo, what if he strategically did it in Baltimore? Because what I originally said was that's where Tupac and Jada met.
Mm-hmm. Which it is.
And that is. And then we looked it up. Where did they meet? They met at the Baltimore School of Arts. Yeah. And then it just clicked with me like, yo, like, what's the coincidence that it literally, the best crowd turned out to be in her hometown?
Mm-hmm. And that probably stings.
And Baltimore is Jada Pinkett Smith's hometown. Mm-hmm. Maybe I might have been reaching with the Pac shit, but...
With the connection.
We know how everybody always connects everything between Will, Jada, and Pac.
And that was something we hadn't seen, though, on the internet. We hadn't seen anyone mention it. That was straight from you. And also, funny enough, is he never straight directly says that or anything, but he was talking about something else, and he actually says, like, whenever I come to a place, the first thing I do is
study them and do research.
I do my homework about the place. Yep. And what he was actually talking about in that little part was he was talking about how, like, dangerous
your
places.
surroundings, knowing whether you're in a good neighborhood or a bad neighborhood.
How to know exactly, which was another great fucking piece. But all right, so let's get to the Will Smith shit.
Yeah, so pretty much he just said, like, you know, how did he start it off? Did he start it off with, like, basically saying, like, talking about the cheating?
He started it off with talking about the cheating, yeah.
Basically, it was like, you know, no, like, another thing where he was saying about playing the victim, because he was saying basically how your wife cheats on you, you put it out there in the media. I never spoke on it. I never fucking did anything. I'm not the media, you know. He was like, well, like, you decide to broadcast that shit and do fucking Oprah. Like, he was like, because we all know what happened to me, and you won't see me going to Gayle, Oprah. Bro. You know what I'm saying? But when things happen to other people, they want to do press runs and shit like that, and kind of just started taking digs at him. It was like, at the end of the day, your wife fucked your son's fucking best friend and shit, like, and just, right?
Yeah, so...
Expand on it.
So...
He was going in, though.
So, yeah, so he, after kind of, you know, laying the foundation of...
After being funny, he decided to just... make a statement.
Yeah. So he goes right into it, and he calls it, which is the name of the special. He says what Will was displaying was selective outrage, which I love that title. Okay. I don't know if that's good for him. I love that title because it perfectly sums up the Will Smith situation, but it also perfectly sums up the state of society. What?
I don't know. I feel like he wants to jump.
He's not gonna jump. He maybe wants to get on the table.
Yeah, I think so. I think he wants to lay over there in his spot.
He needs a little space.
Yeah, there he goes. There he goes. Just want to stretch for y'all. Yeah. All right, nap time. Back to the
best way to get attention. Show some ass. So
utilizing number 2 strategy.
Or number one. Snowshoes for the top. So selective outrage, which sums up the Will Smith scenario as well as the state of society right now. Selective outrage over everything. They decide that's how he started it, I believe. He started it with selective outrage about how he said someone did something. He had 2 scenarios of 2 people doing different, like the same thing, but one got attention while the other didn't.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember which. But essentially, so what does he say about the Will Smith scenario? Basically, what you saw in the clip, as if you didn't see the clip, it's basically that
his wife pushed him to be angry, upset. She put him in this position. No one did this to him. All the fucking hip-hop media disrespected him, spoke on their business.
That's how he started it. He
spoke
was like
on his wife.
The different people the different media that spoke on it and called him a bitch.
But for some reason, when it comes to Chris Rock, when he was gonna host the Oscars and Will wasn't nominated, Jada wanted him to not make money and not host the fucking Oscars. When this guy has done nothing but support Will, you're gonna now test his support by saying don't take this opportunity, which is a life-changing opportunity for someone like him. Look at a lot of things also that were rooted in this stand-up was his love for his kids. So if he loves his kids so much, why would he pass up that opportunity to put food in his fridge for his kids? And you know what I'm saying? Like, I know he's rich, but so what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he was like basically saying that you picked a fight with the one person you knew you could beat.
Yeah.
And that's selective outrage. And that's some bitch shit.
Yeah, facts. And
his words, not mine, Will.
I did love that he explained really passionately that he's always loved Will and that he rooted for Will.
He's seen him open up for Run DMC.
Mm-hmm.
Shit like that. And if you know Chris Rock, you know he come from Brooklyn. Like, he's passionate about this culture, hip hop, comedy. You know what I'm saying? Like, where we come from. So it's like, he's obviously going to root for Will Smith and love Will Smith.
As we all
do.
Yeah.
You know, so for Will to, like, flip on him, that shit hurt him. That shit really did hurt him.
Yeah.
But he turned it into a positive. Look at and you got to expect that. Like, what can Will, like, get upset about? Because, bro, it's been a year. This man didn't go out in media, like he said, through interviews, be a victim. You know what I'm saying? Fucking, he took a year, worked at his craft, and now he's saying what it was his side of it, tying that in, tying his experience into like what's going on in the world today. Mm-hmm. Everything he felt from that situation, he broke it down into sections and made it into his special.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. It was really well done. If you haven't seen it,
one of the GOATs.
Definitely go see it. It's on Netflix. This is not an ad, but I wish it was. But that's that on that, right? We Netflix, have anything else?
Cut
for
the
that?
check. Nah. Going out when it ended, and he threw the mic down, and then they went into the part of watch the.
Oh, if you're wondering why to end it, the very last thing he says is why he didn't react, why he didn't swing or hit back in that moment. Is because
he grew up with parents.
He grew up with parents, and his parents taught him never to fight in front of white people. And then he slams the mic down.
That was the punchline, the joke after this him like making his statement.
Yeah.
That then topped like the cherry on top to be a punch. Like it was great. And then they play "You Won Now," watching the throne. Don't let me into my zone. Like,
which I thought was dope. And he had he posted pictures with like all the greats. Man.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx, Dave Chappelle.
Kevin Hart, Mike Tyson.
He had a joke about Steph and Draymond in there. He posted a picture with them.
Yeah.
But one thing I took from that,
and I don't know if you noticed, he was wearing a chain. He was wearing all white.
Yeah.
With white boots with black bottoms, and then his chain is actually the symbol, Prince's symbol. Which is another GOAT and another person that inspired a lot of people in our culture. You know what I'm saying? Especially from his era.
Yeah.
And that was the only thing that was in color. It was purple diamonds.
Especially from his era. It's funny because if you remember that Everybody Hates Chris episode where he's talking about androgyny and how it was the hottest shit.
Nah.
Like, you never seen that episode?
I probably did, but I don't,
Oh, man. That's a great episode.
It was about Prince?
I don't think it's about Prince, but it's about like basically the fact that Prince was inspiring this era, of androgyny and shit.
Nice.
And it was just a great episode.
You see what's that? I peeped that, and it was in purple diamonds. Like he killed it.
Yeah,
that was
that's fire.
Yeah.
One thing I was gonna say is about the pictures. I think he's strategic, but one thing I took from the pictures and shit was just that he had a lot of support and love from the greats and
to tie that into the Prince thing. Another thing that crossed my mind was that, I like that statement. I didn't even say it to you last night. I didn't even what's that called? Like speak on it or touch on it or anything. But everyone, people be arguing who's the GOAT, who's this, who's that, right? Comedy wise and anything. Mm-hmm. Music wise, if you're gonna argue who's the GOAT, is people like to argue Michael Jackson, James Brown, Prince. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like his statement was like, y'all could argue about who's the Michael Jackson of this shit. I'm the Prince of this shit. Because the ones who argue about GOATs that be on the Prince shit are the people that are inspired and know musically how talented he was, playing instruments, things like that, how he changed the industry, went and fought against fucking the industry standards and shit like that. And it was kind of like a statement to me of saying I'm the Prince of this fucking comedy shit. And you could say in a way, you know what I'm saying? So I thought that was
That actually reminds me of, you mentioned Michael Jackson, actually reminds me of the example he gave of Selective Outrage. That was the example I was looking for.
That was the one, too,
He was saying that, there's Selective Outrage. Like people still play Michael Jackson,
but won't dare play no R. Kelly.
And that and that it got nothing to do with what they did. He was like, same crime, but one of them makes better
music.
Selective Outrage, very real thing, man. I thought just those two words, I hadn't heard it. I hadn't heard anyone say that.
Facts.
But that very accurately sums up the state of things,
I know we live in this era where it's like people are quick to be like, yo, classic, but like some of the things you got to check off with classic stuff is like there's a certain list. And I feel like this stand-up checked off a lot of things. And one of those things is even titles. Titles stick out to you. It's like everyone knows Eddie Murphy, Raw. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, people know Kevin Hart. I forgot, but
you was making a point.
Laugh at me, whatever the shit.
Laugh at my pain.
Laugh at my pain. That's a classic. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, and I feel like Selective Outrage is one of those titles that stick out like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
That's what I was trying. That was the point I was trying to make.
I was gonna say, did you want to speak on? Because we had a very small conversation about it prior when we were talking about, because people wonder like how you didn't hit him back in that moment. And his explanation is, I was raised. I had parents, and they taught me never to fight in front of white people, right? So. You buy that as an excuse? Is that like, you think?
For me, I personally feel like I understand it. Maybe everything kind of, when you're in the heat of a moment, it's like you could think back and it was probably like happened so fast. Excuse me. It probably happened so fast. But to you, it's like I felt every second of it. Mm-hmm. It was slow, even though it was so fast. Yeah. So probably within the moment, everything was happening so fast, but so slow that he really thought about his actions and the stage he was on and what would happen if they both ended up trying to fight each other and he went crazy or some shit. And he was just like, you know what I'm saying? Trying to pop off or something. Like, then what? They're both in the wrong and they both lose sponsorships, opportunities.
It's horrible.
You know what I'm saying?
For the historical, cultural aspects of it, now it's like,
two big white
two black people
plays the Oscar. Yeah. These two, they go at it. Yeah. That's exactly.
You're doing that was a nice mic catch. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, nice. Good shit. Yeah, shit didn't even touch.
I look like I ain't even look at it. I didn't,
bro. So, what the fuck was I saying?
Fighting at the big white
event.
I
do buy.
Which tonight is the Oscars.
It is? Wow, that's crazy.
I'm pretty sure. Well, I remember he's like about a week to the day. It's been about a year and a week to the day.
Nice.
So, and then I found out earlier today that tonight's actually the Oscars.
Wow. So I do buy the fact that he probably did think about it, and that's why he did it. Because, like you said, we were talking about, and I was like, I feel like my natural reaction, even if Will Smith could beat my ass, if someone goes to smack at me and say it is Will Smith, I feel like as soon as the smack lands, my reaction is to swing back.
But Aaron beats people up, so that's not.
I wouldn't say that, but like shit happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, but don't try me. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man at the end of the day. You know. But that's what I'm saying. Like the natural.
Yeah, I was
gonna
say naturally. I feel like you at least posture up. You at least kind of maybe But if you really go back and you watch that clip, what I was explaining was he seems like even after he gets slapped, that he's uncertain of like how real this is. Of like, he doesn't even really believe that.
You think he thought he was getting
threatened?
Like,
I think he thought he was getting like fucked with.
Like,
or
like the Oscars were pulling a joke on him.
Yeah, and he wasn't sure where he still looked like he didn't know where it was going. Even after he got smacked, he still looked like what was happening.
Serious? G.I. Jane because of G.I. Jane or some shit. Right?
But he says that after Will starts cursing.
After Will starts,
and that's the point I made
my
originally.
Wife's fucking name out your mouth.
That's the point I made originally was. Up until then,
he was more
Will,
like, whoa.
He seemed like he thought it was playful. Like it was supposed to be playful, and maybe Will overdid it.
Even on the walk up, as Will was walking up to him, like we mentioned, like he was like, Richard, like he was about to call him by his
the movie he was there for, the King Richard.
And like, maybe he thought Will was gonna be like,
I thought he was just gonna put him in a headlock or fuck with him, like, you better relax, like, you know, like you said.
Silly Will.
Yeah, like just, that they was about to make a moment. Yeah.
And walked off.
And
that's a thing I turned on too. Like, he fucking popped his collars after and cleaned himself up and walked away. Even if I didn't posture up to fight back or swing, once he turns around, like, I think the ego in me, or like, you know what I'm saying, like the testosterone in me would be like, go fucking pop on him while his back's turned, like attack, and like, like
a lot of people would, which I give a lot of credit to Chris Rock for that. You know what I mean? You could see it two different ways. You could be like, that's some bitch shit. Why wouldn't he do anything back? But I just think that moment, it wasn't clear to him. He didn't feel threatened when Will was walking up to him. He didn't feel like, I'm about to fight this dude. This dude's about to do something to me. He thought it was a joke. He clearly, it looked like he thought something funny was about to happen. They were gonna make a moment. It was gonna be improvised. He looked like he was ready to play off Will. Yeah. He looked like he was ready to play off what Will did. Whatever joke Will was coming with, he was about to find a way to play off.
I believe so too. That's
how he looked. So in terms of him not doing anything back, that's the way I always saw it. His reasoning is, parents taught him never to fight in front of white people.
That's a good spin to it. But he
still,
did the right thing.
I think he still made the right decision.
And it's not like...
It's the hard decision.
It's not like Chris Rock is the guy, though, anyway. Like, even with me saying what I'm saying, like, I fucking would never really pinpoint him as the fucking fighting tough guy in any industry. And he said that, too. He was like... Will Smith played fucking Muhammad Ali. I played fucking Pookie. Like, Pookie, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so it's like, I don't take it no type of way. Like, I would never, like, say this was actually like a tough guy. Like, and I remember that was one of the conversations we had. Like, if that was The Rock, would he do that? No, he probably wouldn't have. But if he did, I would expect The Rock to pop back. Yeah.
And one thing we mentioned before this is he popped on Chris Rock. He ain't pop on August Alsina, like, which is crazy. Like, that's the main one, right? If you gonna pop on someone,
exactly.
So Selective Outrage pinpoints it, like, that is it right on the money. So
classic, I'm saying it.
So I believe that's it for that. Facts. Next thing that's been definitely heavy on, not heavy on the mind, but heavy in the news.
What's that?
Ja Morant.
Sports.
Ja Morant. So
it's
not even sports at this point. It's
another. He's another name, famous person. He got he got clout. He's on the come up. He's someone that we all looked at, especially if you're a sports fan, as someone with potential to be great.
Facts.
Shameless plug, no politics sports. We did one time a future top 5, like, in each position.
Future, like the...
Like, what's your lineup of the future, like...
Yeah, the all-star team of the decade type shit. The next decade, of the 2020s, who would be the
And it was early,
guys.
And I had Ja in his rookie year.
I had Jokic.
Nice.
Before the back-to-back MVPs.
True, you're right.
Yeah.
I had AD over him. Now AD definitely ain't making it over Jokic.
That's a bad pick.
I know.
I gotta revisit that. We gotta revisit that just to see what's up.
But Ja was one of my guys, and I do believe he still is talented enough that he could be a polarizing figure in this shit. But he's trying to be a polarizing figure in the wrong way. Like it's funny because I feel like somewhere along the line, the way, I might have compared his image and his like back down style to Allen Iverson.
I knew he was gonna say AI. Yeah,
but
I always thought of him very AI Russell Westbrook type vibe.
You feel me? And I feel like
I've always got that.
It's just this generation isn't.
They just
the same. Like even if people talk shit about AI was mature enough to know not to do shit like that. AI could have been a gangster. We all think he was gangster. He changed the game. He was the one bringing tattoos, jewelry, all that to the spotlight, and people fucking villainized him for just that, wearing jewelry and baggy clothes. Mm-hmm. So, but AI knew that, so he never jeopardized none of his shit by going to that level of pulling guns out or pretending he's gonna pull a gun out of someone or threaten another team. You know what I'm saying? Now, the thing is, it is a different time, a different generation. There was no fucking IG lives or TikToks, maybe a couple drinks of alcohol, and mistakes happen. You know what I'm saying? People are young, they're feeling themselves.
It's the generation of attention seeking where people are dry snitching on themselves. In effort to get attention, you telling on yourself. That's essentially
that's
what's going on so much. This is how people are getting caught up a lot right now. You can't help but to want attention for something that you put the wrong things in front of everyone's face. And then you can't be shocked when it comes back on you.
And I feel like more so in the situation that he's in the hot water in now with the whole strip club thing. For anybody that doesn't know, he was at a strip club.
Should we start it from the beginning with it?
I feel like why not? Just in case people don't know, just we could kind of summarize it because it's been started, but like now it's at a peak point where it's like more than just what's going on in the league or in basketball or beefing with another team because you're competing against them.
Yeah.
Like, so how, like, for the people that don't know, how did it start in the league?
Okay, in the league, it started mostly with him and the Grizzlies, the team he's on. They trash talk, you know. They trash talk. They even last year in the playoffs, they was grittying on other teams' court type vibes.
Yeah.
Like,
they were feeling themselves. But they're young. They're coming up.
They're a young team.
They're making a splash. Mm-hmm. They're talented. We're not gonna knock their talent.
Yeah,
they're good.
So it was like, all right, and people love Ja. You know, I remember constantly seeing Ja with his daughter. It was he didn't have. There was nothing unclean about his image. You know what I mean?
He was just a happy kid, happy to be there.
Kid dunking on people, fierce on the court, you know, and that's how it started. And then, you know, they began to feel themselves.
This year they started hot. They were like number 1, number 2 seed all year.
They started the year, I believe, beating the Warriors, right? And they was trash talking the Warriors. Remember, that's where the Clay picture going like this comes in.
And Clay told them, I got
holding
4.
Up the 4 rings. They haven't won anything yet. They haven't won a chip, even though they're clearly on the rise.
Yeah.
And so it started there. Then I believe kind of the next part of the saga was T. Morant, Ja's father.
No. But it might have been simultaneous with the interview where they asked him about the West, and he said, "We're not worried about the West."
It was about simultaneous.
Yeah.
So then the next meme-ish kind of thing was he was in an interview. They asked him what team did he have to worry about, and he said the Boston Celtics
because he ain't worried about the West.
And he's like, not any team in the West.
We good.
He's like he was like, we good in the West.
Yeah.
So that. You know,
simultaneously with his dad being out on the court beefing with other fucking fans and players, Shannon Sharp. So
popping shit from the sidelines, basically.
That's escalated to a reputation of like, oh shit, like his dad be popping off. The team kind of backs up his dad. So Ja is feeling like the king around this bitch. he's the main guy. Nobody's in. They're gonna protect his pops. They're gonna protect anyone that's rocking with him. And he wants to smoke. He's not backing down. But that shit just started getting to his fucking head.
Yeah.
So
then from there, where does it go? Was that the last?
Shannon Sharp and his pops almost got into it.
Yes.
Shannon Sharp said his pops didn't want none of that smoke. No one on the team wanted that smoke.
So then he says, like, Shannon Sharp says, like, Ja ain't, like, he's not like that. He's not. Yeah. Like, so stop acting like a thug.
Yeah, so then Ja kind of started, like, I don't know if he took that in the type of way. Maybe he did, but he started, like, responding to people saying shit like that. And he even said on Twitter, like, oh, bullets... Feel these. You gonna feel these slugs. That was old. You gonna feel these slugs or some shit.
He said. It's free to know what hollows feel like or some shit.
Yo, like
but I feel like that was old.
That was old too. But damn, that was another thing. Red flag.
Red flag that we missed.
So following that's like you try to test my gangster. He got into a chippy ass game. I think it was the Pacers. Mm-hmm. And you know we all know the Pacers are another young team in the East that they're not top team, but they're tough, like you said. You know what I'm saying? They got Halliburton, they got Buddy Hield, you know, they got Miles Turner. Anyway, they gave him a good game. I don't know if they won or lost, I don't remember. But at the end of the game, him and his boys were in a car, and reports are that there was
like the team off the bus or something.
The team bus, lasers were pointed at the team bus from a car that Ja Morant was in. They don't know if it was guns with laser beams or what.
Yeah, but
so that was a red flag. That's when the league now started buzzing like, yo, what is this guy serious? Is he, you know what I'm saying? Like, what type of shit is this? Some of us, I know me, maybe you, I didn't feel like, I was like, that's probably not what it is. Like,
I didn't think it was
he's not playing
guns.
Around with no guns.
Yeah,
like, he's not that stupid.
It was that. I thought it was like some dumb shit someone, you know, does
little
to scare
point
you.
The laser to scare you.
To scare people.
Yeah, we go. Some South shit. He probably hanging out with some dudes from men like, we gonna scare they bitch ass, blah, 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 blah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Joking around. Cool. What happens a couple weeks later? What I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, but there had prior to there, you know, there was the off the "You Not a Thug" shit. There was the meme, very popular meme, where they have the 8 Mile joint.
Clarence went to school and he had 2 parents. Yeah. Like he went to private school and he got 2 parents and they start showing him pictures of him growing up with his mom and dad wearing fucking moccasins and Toms and polos and you know, so they're like, this guy's a fake thug, and now people are trying to like point the finger at him like, you're not built like that, you're not from the mud, like you trying to be gangster but you're not.
And the main joke is like he the first player to make it out the NBA and get
want to go back to the hood.
Yeah. So that's the main joke if you haven't heard it.
And it was going on for a while, and it started getting played out. And then what does Ja Morant do?
Well, even before that, I was gonna say there was the report of him getting into a fight with the young 17-year-old kid.
I feel like that came out after.
That was an old report.
It was old, but it came.
No, it didn't come up. It had come up again.
Oh.
During the whole 8 Mile meme shit. And then
where he fought. He supposedly him and his boys either fought or threatened to beat up a 17-year-old Foot Locker employee.
He fought with him.
Who?
No, that's another story. I'm talking about the one where he fights the 17-year-old
kid.
You're talking
at
about
the basketball.
One where his mother is at Foot Locker. He fights.
See? But you see what I'm saying?
So now all these stories start coming up because of the thing he did, which was he was at a strip club or a nightclub and he was waving a gun on Instagram IG Live. So, there's just no... If it's a real gun, you know, because some people are like, oh, that was a lighter... You know, whatever.
It wasn't a big gun either. Yeah. So it was kind of funny, like.
Yeah. If it's a real gun, he's stupid as hell for putting it on IG Live, because why? You're in the NBA, you got a job, like.
How old is Ja Morant? 21, 22?
Gotta be like 22. But I could check.
I could see a 22-year-old just with a lot of money, because we all know he got a lot of money, in a strip club.
23.
He got his shirt off. So all the elements of that, he is feeling himself right now.
Yeah.
And this was before we got even more details that we recently got in the past couple of days. But all the clues were there when I saw that video. Like, he's feeling himself right now. He probably don't even realize what he's doing because he's just feeling like the man. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If a dude's in the strip club with his shirt off, he feeling like the man.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck, he's just not making nothing easy.
He's not making any good decisions right now.
Yeah, so that was my initial thought. I also laughed at it, like, why would he be this dumb? But at the same time, I was like, kind of feeling bad, like, damn, bro.
Yeah, you fucking up right now.
Don't fuck up, man. You can stop.
Yeah,
you have the talent to be
so
one of the
quickly.
greats. If you stay focused, have a fucking
man. He came out
long
the gate.
Career.
He came out the gate this season like a potential MVP candidate.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? He was having huge games to start the year, and it's like that quickly. It's kind of.
You go from the hero to the villain, but that was the thing. Like everybody loved him to the point where he probably felt untouchable. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you do need to get humble. I think Chris Rock said something like that.
Yeah.
We're talking about his daughter.
Yep. So I just feel like he's making a ton of bad decisions. He's lacking guidance right now. I do also want to say I dislike how all these older stories are coming to surface. You know, we briefly spoke about this in the group chat because I just feel like the older stories being brought to the surface are simply being brought up to...
with an agenda to bury him.
To continue to smear. It's like a smear campaign. Yeah. I'm all for, you know, the truth coming to light, you know what I mean? But this... The purpose of it is not even to help the victims of this. Like someone, Nick, actually made the point to me on the side, outside of the group chat, about sexual assault and like something like the Me Too movement. Yeah. You know, you bring up the old stories and, you know, the stories matter. You know what I mean? And it makes it so that you're, you know, it bringing up the past, it's the truth. Yeah. So it coming to the surface, there's no problem with that. And I agree, I think in this case of sexual assault, it's very different because the point is that you want justice for people who have been sexually assaulted.
And you expose someone if they haven't been
if they haven't
incriminated for it so that other people could be aware and not fall victim to this person.
So it's beneficial to those who have been assaulted. Yeah. It's beneficial to those who are in connection with the assaulter.
So other people could speak up.
So that other people could speak up. So that it doesn't happen to other people. It's important for all of those reasons. You're not just doing it to cancel the sexual assaulter. Yeah. You're doing it to bring justice to the people who have been assaulted. That is okay to me. That is the purpose of it.
But with Ja,
you're not. You're just doing it to continue to pile onto the narrative to you see a man down in the dirt and now I want to bury you.
And just because...
And it just feels really media, you know, and the media today, it's they're jumping on everything, bro. You see it on everything.
And I'm happy we looked up his age. He's 23. Bruh. Most of these 20 people that are 23 years old most of the people that are talking about him that when they were 23 weren't even nearly in the position he was in to be as responsible as you want him to be. Mm-hmm. You feel me?
23 is young.
You had to continue to grow to get that maturity and experience life and maybe other ways.
And make bad decisions.
And make bad decisions not in the spotlight. Yeah. Exactly.
Now people don't get the opportunity to make bad decisions and learn from them.
So just because he had a bad stretch of a couple of months, now you want to fucking try to destroy him. Like there's no opportunity for him to grow and get better from this and never make these mistakes again. Yeah. He definitely has all the time. It's
hardly fair.
That's not fair. That's not fair. And I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I'm fucking watching along and fucking following the gossip like everybody else because it's entertaining in a way when it's like media shit. But the entertainment to me is like the new shit that got leaked, where they showed a screenshot of the video and it's just him with the one stripper And like, bro, there's literally rumor is he threw $100K.
Yeah.
And money. And bro, the whole floor, you can't even see the floor.
You can't see the floor.
There's fucking money everywhere.
And it's just him alone
with his shirt off with a strip on him. Like, bro, that's entertaining. I mean, okay. I don't know how. I don't like. To me,
I see the direction.
It's entertaining because it plays into my narrative. Like he was feeling himself. He was that dude that night. You couldn't tell him nothing. He had $100K on the floor, and the one shorty he was in love with, and that's it. That's all that mattered.
Yeah. Now, another point that was actually brought up in the group chat was. Like, yo, what kind of strip club? Like, how you leak that pic? And that's another thing. But that's another thing that goes to the point of now is it?
But I don't think the strip club leaked it.
Okay.
If the police are investigating something and the NBA is investigating something, that strip club has to give the footage to the authorities.
I get what you're saying.
Once it's in authorities' hands, they're the ones that are gonna leak. Bro, the people in power are the one trying to smear this kid. It's not us.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we add to it. Our commentary doesn't help sometimes when we're on, especially for the people that are on the negative side and do dislike him. Adds and helps the smearing.
And don't actually have nuanced conversations about it.
Yeah, they help. But the original smearing and trying to put this kid down and fuck up his reputation, it's going to come from the top. This kid got power.
Okay, and agreed,
money,
right?
You know?
But none of that shit carries if nobody gives a fuck about it. And that's the thing. Everyone jumps on it and continues to, double, triple down, quadruple down. You know what I mean? And I made the reference of the UFOs. There was like a hot ass 3-day span of nothing but UFOs, and we just didn't care. As the public just did not care. The public did not give it energy. A lot of it was just, we know what y'all doing. Y'all on bullshit. Y'all faking this shit.
Because the Fed said, somebody put a gun in Ja Morant's hand ASAP.
Yeah.
We gotta change what America's interested in right now.
Yeah, because they don't give a fuck about this right now.
Yeah.
But that shit died, and then you stopped hearing about it. Why? Because like it just didn't take. Facts. Nobody was talking about it as much as they probably figured people would talk about it. It became like another one.
I feel like it's because we've been mentally preparing ourselves for UFOs for the last like fucking 15 years. Like eventually, watch when they start talking about UFOs. That now that they finally like, so there are UFOs.
And we just joke about it.
Like,
so
we've been told y'all that
exactly. So, but because of that energy from the public, they stopped.
Yeah.
It just, you stopped hearing about it. It's not just they stopped seeing UFOs. It's you stopped hearing about it. It stopped being a topic.
Yeah.
On these platforms, on these major platforms. It wasn't trending anymore.
Yeah.
It's up to other people, not just the higher ups, the higher powers. It's up to the people that run social media pages not to give in and feed into the shit.
You think if someone as polarizing as Allen Iverson was coming up in our era now, he would have trouble, like he would end up in maybe potentially a situation like Ja Morant?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Think so?
100%. They would have tried to get him.
I heard stories on other like podcasts and shit where people, rappers and shit, have talked about Allen Iverson being in Philly, in the hood, in the club, dolo, or with a couple people with all his jewelry on. And Philly just respecting him, loving him, because he was that dude, and only Allen Iverson could do shit like that. Like, imagine if there was social media and shit, and people were putting out there like, yo, Allen Iverson in the club by himself. Look at all the jewelry, blah, blah, blah. The fucking first takes and all that undisputed and shit, that would have been hot news to talk about. What are you doing outside? You got to protect yourself, and you know what I'm saying? You have a career.
You not focused on ball?
You get to the NBA to get away from this stuff. You know, imagine. But yo, AI was doing it. You know what I'm saying? We fucking love AI. This kid's young. Give him an opportunity to continue to grow. I hope he don't make these mistakes again, and he just continues to strive to be great.
Mm-hmm. As long as he learns from them, man. But everybody should have that opportunity. They shouldn't be buried before they get a chance to rebuild.
Facts.
So, just to tie it all up, I guess I was gonna say it's funny because I read someone mention like James Harden goes to the strip club, nothing. Ja Morant goes to the strip club. Pictures leak is a big thing.
That's a good point.
Selective outrage.
Lou will go to the strip club.
It's nothing.
He get chicken
that was
wings.
who I was going to mention. That's who made me think of the James Harden thing.
He get wings.
Get wings, and it's over. He left the bubble. We all know what's going on. But we like, fuck it. Lou Will the guy. Like, that's our man.
He wanted wings. We believe him.
Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. But then that brought me James Harden saying shit. Nobody say nothing. Now this Ja Morant shit is selective outrage. And that's a big issue. And that's, you know.
To be fair, though, James Harden goes to the strip club with billionaires like Michael Rubin.
Yeah.
My bad. Michael Rubin and shit.
Okay.
James
Rubin. Harden don't go to the strip club without Michael Rubin, you think? Like,
I feel like he don't.
Bro, he do be moving with Michael Rubin.
Michael Rubin and Little Baby. That's it.
They tied in. They locked in.
Anytime they in the strip club, that's who he's with.
Always. But, nah, like, it's definitely a issue of selective outrage. I totally believe that. So.
Facts.
Yeah, so.
But yo, you know what? I know we had something else to talk about. I forgot what it was though, but I kind of thought about Kyrie Irving, since we're talking about
Ja
Morant and selective outrage. And Kyrie Irving was talking about, I don't give a fuck about FanDuel. Don't fucking heckle me. And I fucking agree. Shout out to fucking Kyrie. Like, that was important. I felt like a lot of people, when I first heard, like, oh, Kyrie came out talking about FanDuel, I'm like, damn, now people are going to fucking start coming at him for this. But he had a fucking point. Like,
I knew you felt strongly about it because I had spoken to you earlier in the day about it. We were speaking in the group chat, not me and you, but I guess you briefly saw it and you were like, oh, what's Kyrie talking about? Yeah. Right? Whatever. We didn't really touch on it past that. And then later in the day, you hit me up mad out of nowhere. I agree with Kyrie! Exclamation point in the DM. And I'm just like, he felt strongly about this.
Yo, because when you listen
I'm gonna get water.
From his perspective, go ahead. When you listen from his perspective, you can hear me. He can hear me. He right over there. But it's like, bro, that shit is so lame. If you're gambling, know that you're fucking gambling. Yeah, you're literally gambling on humans who are doing their job and playing a fucking game,
and
a fucking sport. They want to win, but they don't know everybody's fucking parlays and legs and the over under that you need him to fucking hit.
The same night that he doesn't hit the over for y'all is the same night he hits the under for a bunch of other people. So shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's basically what his point was. Like, bro, don't come to the game gambling and then try to fucking talk shit to me and throw me off my game. How am I supposed to do anything to fucking score if you want me to score? And you're fucking over here talking about you fucking hate me. You hope I die because I don't got fucking 20 points or 10 fucking assists.
Yeah, and originally you made the point that, but gambling's been a thing because he kind of blamed it on FanDuel. And was it you that made the point?
Yeah, I made that point when I was like, what happened?
When we first initially spoke about it.
On FanDuel and gambling. I was like, yeah, but gambling's always been a thing before FanDuel.
But now, because it's so accessible, my phone's ringing. But now, because it's so accessible and anyone can gamble, you gotta think about it. These are the same people. The same people that gamble, get tight, are the same people that be tight during fantasy football season, DM players, tweet players, all of that bullshit, which is top of the line corny. Like, it's just corny behavior.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being like, damn, I just needed 2 more rebounds. And just saying something like that, like what's
if you tweeted it, maybe
blandly.
Sure, cool. Don't DM players. Like,
but
that's
like,
so weird.
Also, like, or even atting them, be like, or being like, this is what I think is whack. Like, if you're like, damn, come on, at Kyrie Irving, I just needed 2 more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's weird. Yeah.
Like, I understand, like, okay, you might have friends on your Twitter that gamble too, so then you just...
So you might have been like, damn, at Kyrie Irving missed my parlay by this much. Maybe that's not as
even
bad.
That I don't like.
Oh, I wouldn't do any of it.
I just think it's only acceptable to just be like, fuck, man, like...
Missed my parlay by 2.
Missed my parlay, 2 more points and 3 more rebounds. Fuck, #gambling Twitter. Some shit like that.
A marketer, ladies and gentlemen.
Yo, cut the check.
So... Yeah, that whole thing is, I'm in total agreement with him as well. It's these fans that they care less about the game and more about these parlays and this gambling. And like you said, it's always been a thing. But we always knew about gambling. We wasn't gambling until FanDuel was like on our phones like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And now a bunch of our friends do it. For a long time,
it was just like, yo, in my mind, it was like the only place you could ever gamble on anything is if you go to Vegas and you in the casino living that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. And this is also the season that I've said to you a lot of times early in the season, we've seen a lot of weird shit. I've seen a lot of bad reffing. Shout out to Fred VanVleet that called out the bad refs. He did not hold back.
You've been monitoring the reffing and what's going on and the shift in it from gambling since last season when we got fans back, refs back. Well, refs been there, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like the fans back. When things started just getting the ball rolling again, you started analyzing that, and you would always point it out. And I would be like, word, laugh out loud, la, 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 conspiracy, like in a conspiracy way. But like now it's like, nah, bro, like...
There's some blatant shit going on,
There's some blatant shit going on. These refs are gambling or know people gambling. And they have certain things at stake.
Because everybody it's way more accessible. Yeah.
And it is what it is. And they're going to dictate these games. And Fred VanVleet's one that called them out. And you know, it's funny, that same ref was on the ref for the Knicks versus Kings game after that, and there was some shit, and Julius Randle, someone mentioned it on commentary, but then after Julius Randle mentioned it too and brought up the same fucking guy. So who knows?
Refs need to be investigated. Refs need to get
Bro,
benched.
What's the dude? They got a whole documentary on Netflix about the infamous ref. Donahue. And he literally...
Donahue? Something.
It's Donahue, I think. But he literally referenced and admitted that they had agreement amongst the referees that we're going to fucking give Allen Iverson a hard time every time he fucking plays. We're going to call whatever the fuck we want to call against. Every time he goes like that, we're going to double dribble call on him because we know that he likes to drive this way and he does this little move, and we're always going to call a double dribble on it. Like, there was... Literally,
it was blatant.
What's the word? Like targeting of fucking AI.
Yeah.
And that was happening then. Yep. Imagine now. Crazy.
So we agree with Kyrie there. 100% facts. If you gambling, gamble safely, man.
I bet you if the refs could, they would fucking be popping shit to these players. Like, yo, fucking... Get 25.
Bro, there's weird shit. Wasn't there
like you miss.
Wasn't there like a crazy, like, what was it, a 20-point comeback in like 3 minutes? There was like a Raptors game earlier this season.
Against the Raptors. Someone against the Raptors.
It was either against, but I know it was a Raptors game. But it was like a team came back from down like 25 in like 3 minutes. It was some ridiculous shit
like that.
And I was like, yo, did any of y'all see that game? Because I didn't see it. But, like, I believe Arun posted it.
The little highlights.
And
right?
I was like, I need to see these highlights. I need to see what the fuck happened. I don't remember,
against the Raptors?
I don't remember.
Or the Rockets, I feel like, against the Raptors. Yeah, something's going on with these refs. And I agree with Kyrie
it's shaky.
As well.
I've seen shaky shit a lot this season. Just weird shit. In terms of not, like, player prop type shits, because... but in terms of like spreads,
yep,
and keeping the game close, or just huge reversals of momentum in these games. It was, I believe it was the Raptors and the Bucks, maybe.
The Raptors came back on the Bucks.
Maybe. But what about, there's the Mavs-Knicks game. There's been like crazy ones this season. That specifically to this season. So,
bro, the Knicks, though, I swear, bro, we never get calls. They definitely got something against the Knicks, too. I swear, these refs just act like they don't see what the fuck's going on when it comes to us, bro.
I don't watch enough of y'all.
I know. I'm just venting. Angry Knicks fan, but we all right. We gonna be in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, it was Raptors-Bucks.
Raptors-Bucks?
Yep. Raptors came back.
Wow.
I don't know how much they came
Fred
back.
VanVleet wasn't complaining then. You feel me?
Shut up. I love Fred VanVleet.
I love him too.
That's a funny shit.
It's my boy. Nah, but
they were down 14 with 1:10 left.
What?
And forced overtime.
That's crazy.
But it was worse because that's just the part they're showing. At about 3 minutes left, they were down probably like 20 or some shit. It just won't go back that far. But,
crazy.
Yeah. So, shaky shit, gamble.
Don't be a weirdo. Don't fucking go to the game and heckle fucking players because you got a parlay that's fucking 17 legs and you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Yeah. So, with that, that's all I got.
Hey.
Got anything else?
No, that's really it too. Damn. Music wise, shout out to everybody in the music business. My boy Don Toliver dropped some fire, some heat. Just wanted to say that. Other than that, top season. Feel
season.
me?
It was short lived, but it was a good moment in time.
Yeah.
But all right, well, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
Facts.
I'm WorkinGenius.
Faking no moves.
And,
make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Join the Discord.
Tell a friend to do that. Join the Discord. Tell a friend to do that.
Look out for the streams.
Streams coming ASAP.
Yes, sir.
A lot of things in the works. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Sir.
We never gonna stop. Even if you don't see us for a little bit,
we
still working.
We just on break.
So shout out to all my family out there. Facts.
Love, peace, all that.
Peace.